God. Ask Scott.
Hey Scott, it's Josh. Just had a question I want to run by you. Hopefully I worded it correctly. So I'm just having an inventory tracking issue. I sent in 330 units. The good news is that they all sold out. That being said, it said that 312 of them orders were placed. It said 8 of them were returns. I don't know if that is going towards the 312. And then I don't know where the other 10 units are that would bring me to the 330. Again, it mentioned that all 330 were sold. 8 were returned, but when I looked at orders, it was only 312. So I was just curious if you have any software, how you kind of go about tracking everything, because that seems to kind of be a struggling point for me right now, just keeping track how many orders are placed, how many units I have in stock. I just want to make sure Amazon isn't maybe losing some of my orders, or I'm just trying to stay on top of it and just getting a little bit confused. Hopefully I worded that correctly. It doesn't sound like it, but I guess time will tell. Thank you, Scott.
Hey, Josh, thank you so much for the question. And I'm going to do my best to give you a good answer or my thoughts on this. All right. Now, if you're selling a product that's like $50, $60 or more, then I understand, right? We're tracking like all the little nitty gritty as far as like, okay, they said 330 were sold, 8 were shipped back on refund, but I'm only seeing 310. Like, I get it, right? That would be like, again, something you probably want to contact seller support and say, what's going on here? But I first would say, how long have you let that go before you made the assumption that the inventory wasn't matching up? Because here's the deal. Amazon is a beast, right? But their tracking and their reporting is horrible, in my opinion. I think they need some help there. But they don't seem to care. It's taking a long time for them to make any slight changes, and sometimes they make the change and then they revert back to the old. But there could be a few different things that's going on here. You could have someone that purchased it and then refunded it, but it hasn't been put into the refunds yet. It could have been something that was put in and then taken back out, or it could have been being pushed around because they were moving the inventory, but even though you say it was sold. So it's really it's hard to say. I've tried to look at that, but then I've kind of given up and I kind of wait and I give it like a week, because if I don't, then I'll get frustrated because I'll go back and I'll try to match up like my orders to what it's saying I have left in my inventory in the back end, as far as like what I know that I have available, but then it's saying what my sales were or my orders were. It's usually like delayed by a day or two. So me personally, I wouldn't worry about it. But again, if you're selling a more expensive product, you definitely want to know what's going on there. But I would reach out to Seller Central or Seller Support, and I'd ask them. I'd get someone on the phone and say, what's going on here? Can you look into my account? And then maybe you can get some answers there. Hey, if you do, please let me know. I'm curious myself as to what's going on there. Like I said, there's been times that there was inventory that was damaged, and then it's basically pulled out of there. It looks like a sale, but it's really not. Well, it is a sale in a sense because they actually pay you or if it's lost. I've had some lost, and then it'll come back as a sale because they'll pay me for it. So it's just, I'm not really 100% sure of what the issue could be for you. I'm not really sure what it could be for me sometimes, but I do know that if you reach out to seller support, they should be able to at least direct you. And I would call out to them and talk to someone there personally. I wouldn't just do it through an email, but I would probably do both. I would do an email and I would do a phone call. And I think a lot of times if you do the phone call, you'll get someone on. I would do it through U.S. business hours. So this way here, you're dealing with someone in the U.S. Primarily. And this way here, you can talk to someone and kind of get to the bottom of it. That's what I would do. Again, sorry I couldn't give you a direct, like, this is exactly what's happening, Josh. The truth is it's usually a mystery, and sometimes it's hard to even figure that out. So sometimes it won't even be caught up for 3 weeks before it starts to where it makes sense as far as like what you think was a sale to what was a return. And, it can get confusing. So To me, I don't really know of any tool that, I mean, all the tools are pulling from the reports, as far as I know. And then, so from there, it's kind of looking at what you are looking at, but just doing it for you in a report and pulling out some of the data. Again, if I'm wrong, please someone let me know. And then this way here, we can do something. We can do a show. We can let people know about this way that we can figure this stuff out, because it is frustrating. I totally sympathize with you on that. Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business. So definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there and some of it is really, really good. But what I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business. And this way here, you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.